The red team's strategy to push the lasagnas has taken its toll on the blue kitchen, and they are way behind on their main courses.
Hardly any main courses have gone out, yes? Main course is how long?
4 minutes, chef.
4 minutes. This is slow.
3 minutes, chef.
Yeah, I hope so.
Gotta put it up. We gotta get these tables up. Right now, it's the difference between winning and losing.
Chef Ramsay,
Yes, Elsie.
do we know how long for table 10's lasagna?
Table 10's entrees.
They are being assholes.
Where are the short ribs? No answer.
Right here. They're right here, chef.
Andrew, look, I'm trying to control this. I just need an answer from you, yes?
Chef, everything's coming to the hot plate right now.
Yeah, well, hello, Jessica?
Yes.
Take them back, please, until the table's complete so we can go together, yes? I can't leave food.
You're coming with the lasagna, aren't you?
I'm talking to fucking Jessica. They can't serve that until you're ready.
Yes, chef.
So I just need you two talking together. I'm 1 minute away. I'm 30 seconds away. And try to come together. Please. And that looks like a dog's dinner.
I'm gonna fix that.
I hope you're going to fix it. Jessica.
Yes, chef.
Help him. This is a fucking nightmare.
With 10 minutes left in the second dinner service, the blue team has sent out very few of their main courses, and the customers are anxious and want answers.
Ramsey!
You can't just yell, you're so there.
Should I say something to him? Okay, I'll ask.
Why might we be
That's right.
Chef Ramsey?
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to be really nice,
Yes, okay.
but why does it take so long? We've been waiting like for an hour and a half.
I'm so sorry. I can't really do much about it right at the moment because we're so far in the shed. What's your big worry?
We're hungry.
Yeah, I heard that. What, anything else?
I'm just trying to be straight up with you.
I'm just trying to be straight with you as well.
Feedback. Feedback is always the best.
Fine. Anything else?
No.
No.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, Andrew, you lose some weight. Service.
He said I got some feedback for you. He said he was
The short
doing
rib.
easy.
Yes.
I got some feedback for you.
We've been waiting like for an hour and a half.
I'm so sorry. I can't really do much about it right at the moment because we're so far in the shed. What's your big worry?
We're hungry.
Yeah, I heard that. What, anything else?
I'm just trying to be straight up with you.
I'm just trying to be straight with you as well.
Feedback. Feedback is always the best.
Fine. Anything else?
No.
No.
You have a good night.
Yeah, Andrew.
Okay.
You lose some weight. Service.
Yeah, you cool. He said,
The short rib. Yes. Look at that. Touch the plate. Jessica.
Yes.
That looks like a dog's dinner, yes? Andrew, far too much sauce, not enough plates. Just touch the plates first. Gold plates. Just fucking serve you before one of you wear one of these. Hello, there's your lasagna. And I want that table again. Right, Jessica and Andrew, come here. Yes, chef. Right now, yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 tables to go. Jimmy!
Yes, chef.
Yeah, get your team here now. Shut it down, yes? Finished. 2 hours have gone. Blue team, Andrew, Ralph, Jessica, that was not impressive. Switch it off, clean down.
The second dinner service is over, and the experience of Hell's Kitchen as a pasta house has turned out to be a huge disappointment. Now, Chef Ramsay must take into account the performances in both the kitchen and the dining room to decide the losing team.
This has been a very difficult decision to make. We made a lot of hard work out of something very, very simple. Pasta. And the stats, they're here, clear, from the customers. Red team, you actually serve more food than the blue team. Blue team, you actually left 42 of your diners with no main courses. But according to the food you served, it was actually rated higher than the rest. Your service was good. Service in the red team, well, I don't need to say much about that, do I? It was pretty dismal. And you had one more person in there. This is the hardest decision I've had to make. And the losing team tonight is the red team.
wow. They ended up losing anyway. Look, he's like, I touched it.
Yes, chef.
You actually managed to get all 80 starters out. But unfortunately, every plate you sent up to the hot plate was filthy dirty. And your service was shocking. So you won't be nominating. Michael, you took care of the desserts. Feedback, outstanding. I want you to nominate 2 of your team for elimination. 15, 30 minutes.
His
Michael
plan
will come
was
back
to
with your two
hold
nominees,
desserts, man.
and one of you will be leaving Hell's Kitchen.
Take off.
Let's go.
Michael, like I said to everybody else before, if it's me, it's been nothing but a pleasure.
Chef Ramsay really harped on me about the dishes being clean, and you know, that will weigh as a big factor in Michael choosing who he wants to nominate.
You alright, babe? You need another hug? Come give me a hug.
It's been great. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with all this.
No, but hold on, but Elsie.
Elsie, I don't think like that. You've been doing an amazing job.
I came here telling them the truth. I am clueless about this whole scene.
Kind of stuck, you know, like the people that I have to choose. If it was me, I'd have to go Jimmy Elsie. You know, like, bottom line, Jimmy was crap on the floor. So I who Elsie, she was like breaking down out there. I mean, I was trying to bang out her lasagna, you know. I know price, but he makes a tough choice, you know. All right, let's go do this, man. I don't know what to do.
You know, it's this isn't a hard decision. I want to win, and you know, they're your friends, but not really. The more people that go, and I'm still around, the better for me.
While the blue team survived the lasagna conspiracy, the red team will say goodbye to one of their own.
Michael,
Yes, Chef.
do you have your two nominees for elimination?
Yes, Chef, I do.
First nominee and why, please?
My first nominee is Elsie. During the service tonight, she was really flustered. She's the one person that really stuck out to me, so my decisions were based upon that. Elsie's really evolved, and I hate to have to nominate her, but I do.
Second nominee and why?
My second nominee is Chris.
He actually put up Chris. He did put up
Chris.
Yes.
Wow.
Jimmy had such a wonderful night, and he's working so hard, and he plows through, and you know, I just couldn't put him in that position tonight.
So you chose Chris for his performance tonight?
Yeah, you know, well, I chose Chris, you know, yesterday he said he was the strongest link on our team.
Who's your strongest link?
I believe I'm the strongest chef.
If he really is, he'll be with us tomorrow to kick ass.
Jimmy,
Yes, Chef.
you've been a bullet dodger, a bullet swallower. Well done.
Thank you, Chef.
Elsie and Chris, step forward, please. Elsie,
Yes, Chef.
just tell me why you should stay in Hell's Kitchen.
I've come here with little knowledge of what it is to run an establishment like this. But through it all, I've learned a great deal, and I've put my best foot forward and have not stopped working hard for my team.
Thank you. Chris,
Chef.
tell me why you think you should stay in Hell's Kitchen.
Well, Chef, I just think that my work ethic and my devotion to my team and my hard work will prove to pay off for Hell's Kitchen in the long run.
Tough decision.
Elsie?
Yes.
Anything moving?
Yes.
Because all I can see is just prepping here. You're like a little maid just prepping here, but nothing's actually happening on the stove. Two tortellini away.
Oui, Chef.
Cut the toss pot bullshit, we chef.
Yes, Chef.
Chris, give me your jacket.
He took Chris.
We're leaving Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, actually did.
Thank you.
I was an executive chef. I worked real hard to get it, and I'm not ashamed of it. I belong there. I belong to be the last one standing. So Michael took the easy way out.
Okay, listen, and listen hard. When someone constantly tells me how good they are and constantly self-promotes but doesn't deliver the goods, that pisses me off. So he's gone. 6 of you left, 3 in each team. Get a good night's sleep, and once again, be prepared for anything and everything. Good night.
I've just never been through anything this stressful in my life. I bore kids. It wasn't this bad.
Chris was definitely my biggest competitor on that team. This is a competition, and there's one winner.
Michael tonight pulled a strategic move. Maybe it's not experience that wins this race. I'm just trying to do what I can to survive.
When you come to the kitchen and announce that you are an executive chef, you expect a little bit more than what I got from Chris. He's been telling the world that he has that amount of knowledge, then he should have been 10 times better.
何を背負う強さの果てに何を望む弱き者よ。そりゃこのまま心臓を貫かれたいか。なぜ引かん。死んだ方がマシだ。なんという強き者。敗北より死を取るか。ロロノアゾロ。礼儀をもって世界最強のこの黒刀で沈めてやる。
これが世界最強の力か。背中の傷は剣士の恥だ。
見事。生き急ぐな若き力よ。なんだあれは。魔もまたよくぞ見届けた。安心しろ。あの男はまだ生かしてある。兄貴兄貴。我が名はジュラキュール・ミホーク。これはこの先幾年月でもこの最強の座にて貴様を待つ。 超えてみようロロロワ殿。小僧、貴様は何を目指す？
海賊王。
の俺を超えることよりもな。
なんだありゃ。
騒ぐな。お前たちに用がない。幹部どもはどこだ？こんな島でキャンプとはのんきな男だ。よう鷹の目、これは珍客だ。ある小さな村の面白いガキの話。そうとなれば鷹の目、このまま返すわけにはいかねえ。まあ二日酔いじゃ。
気にするな、弱い魚だ。さあね気に入った。飲むぞ飲むぞ。に七部会、対峙する勢力同士ではその円卓もあまり意味をなさんようだ。議題に関わる海賊たちに少々興味があってな。それだけだ。
七部会の海賊たちにも戦闘陣営が伝えられる。ルフィと行動を共にする海峡のジンベエと
やる気満々じゃねえか。あいつのね野郎だ。
ジュラキュール・ミホーク、通称鷹の目のミホーク。港から見える軍隊のその最前列に構えるのは海賊桜花七部会。
静かじゃ。不自然なほどにな。お前はまた傍観者希望か？好きにしな。
迎え撃つは政府の二大勢力海軍本部桜花七部会。
ジュラキュール・ミホーク。押し量るだけだ。近くに見える本当の距離を。
止めた世界一の斬撃を。海軍本部
の距離を。
止めた世界一の斬撃を。
That's just a random crewmate on his crew. You know what I'm saying? That's just a random crewmate on his crew. He's probably one of the captains.
この力慎みはせんぞ。あの次世代の申し子の命、ここまでか。黒刀からどう逃がす。虫けらの顔などいちいち。射程範囲だ。
さすがは A さんの弟。
海峡のジンベエ、なぜそこまで。しかし運命はまだ見えん。よってここは引いてもらう。 意外に冷静じゃないか。ああ、どうする。兄から登録一方だぞ。これまでか。
何しとんじゃ麦わ整いました。皆さんもご一緒に。せーの、どうぞ。
まだまだだ。白ひげ海賊団5番隊隊長火剣のビスだ。能力や技じゃない。その場にいる者たちを次々に自分の味方につける。この海においてあの男は最も恐るべき力を持っている。火剣の立ち筋見せてもらおうか。勝負は預けよう。ビスタ。
親父に。
こいつらの剣士だが、哀れなり弱き者よ。
鷹の目。あ、お前。
ダズボーネスだな。クロコダイル。なぜ俺の邪魔をする。クロコダイル。白ひげと戦うことは承諾したが、赤髪は協定の範囲外。引き際だ。
White beard, not Shanks. I'm out. I'm out. We agreed to fight white beard, not Shanks. See ya.
てめえ。ミホーク。
限界を超えたダメージの蓄積。あの城はもともと俺の住処だ。貴様こそなぜいる。それで麦わらは別の者たちとマリンフォードに現れたのか。おそらく生きている。だが心は深刻な傷を負っていることだろう。兄を失った。危険のエースは麦わらの目の前で死んだ。水ありだ。よそで泣きわめくがいい。招いていない。この記事は信憑性に欠ける。生死については知らんが、少なくとも俺の記憶では。
なんで起きてくんだよ。麦の現状を聞かされたからだよ。じっと知られっか。ルフィは本当に無事なのか。もっと詳しく聞かせろ。
俺の知ることは全て話した。
おい待て。
小舟でよければこの城の西側に置いてある。もう城を出て随分経つ。まだこんなところにいたのか。ロロノは仲間思いもいいが、こいつらは手強いぞ。他に誰がいる。もう日暮れだ。城へ来い。こいつらは俺の城には近づかん。そうか、好きにしろ。
俺に剣を教えてくれ。
見損なったぞロロノア。俺はお前を過大評価していたようだ。火にやられて海にも出られず、のこのこと帰ってくるような男に。
ギヒなら倒した。
あいつらを。
あとはお前の首だけだ。
わからんな。俺をまだ敵と見定めていて、なぜ俺に頭を下げ、何のためにだ。
お前を超えるため。
俺の首を狙う剣士を俺の手で育てろというのか。どうやら野心に勝るものを見つけたようだな。おいゴースト娘、あいつの手当てをしろ。稽古は傷が治ってからだ。このやつめ、 お前のような男がプライドを捨てるときは必ず誰かのためだと決まっている。
おい、まだできろって言ってんだろ。
ヒヒを倒したと言ったな。この島のヒヒをまとめるいわばヒヒの王さ。今までのヒヒとはレベルが違うぞ。刀を折られたことはあるか？
まあ何度かな。
覇気をまとえば同じ刀でも折れることはなかった。それを体得するまで禁止だ。
ああ？
ジュラキュール・ミホーク。いらん。霊体を消せ。
やだこった。
ああ、今朝読んだ。
なんで教えねえんだ、バカ！
知るか。
すぐに出発だ！こいつにはずいぶん長く世話になったな。
守谷もしぶとい男だ。準備使いらしいとも言えるが、俺の方が多く作った。俺は住まわせてやった。
出てく。
気をつけていけ。騒がしい女だ。今ここを出るのはいい判断かもしれん。イジョアで開催中のレベリーの妙な議題が出ている。
直ちに降伏せよ、鷹の目のミホーク。直ちに降伏せよ。
久しぶりだな。追われる立場に戻るのは。
おい海賊王、あの伝説の大秘宝、とつなぎの大秘宝ワンピースをよ。
欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ。この世の全てをそこに置いてきた。
命だけは取らないでくれ。
設立するつもりだった組織だ。
死んでもらわねば示しはつかんな。
出さないで。
無理な相談だ。何の用だ、クロコダイル。海軍に島を取り囲まれてる。
時々海軍は仕事が早い。
面倒だが拠点を移さねばならない。
悪くねえ話だろう。お前は昔海兵狩りと呼ばれた男。俺とお前は同類だ。
少なくとも俺は四皇になどならず平穏な暮らしを望む。
確かにな。
鷹の目のミホーク。さあやるども派手に行こうぜ。
どうなる俺の人生。
Anything beyond this is outside of my contract. Let's go, Ghost Girl.
Just killing some time. What can I do for you, Vice Admiral?
Young upstart named Luffy fancies himself a pirate.
Doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
He's a wild card.
One moment.
That's enough.
You woke me from my nap. You piqued my interest. Where am I headed?
East Blue.
Oh. You're the captain. I should very much like to meet this Luffy.
You're Dracula Mihawk. I've been following your career since I was a child.
Thank you.
I, Roronoa Zoro, challenge you to a duel.
I've never heard of you.
They call me the Demon Pirate Hunter.
You're serious?
Accept my challenge.
Very well.
That's funny. Yeah, he's
Oh, I do like your hat.
Enough. Let's begin.
Don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. That remains to be seen.
God, you wanna run, huh?
Hardly. Why don't you retreat? You're brave. I'll give you that. I'll do you the honor of killing you with Yoru.
Wounds on the back are a swordsman's greatest strength.
Magnificent. Monkey D. Luffy. What's your goal? King of the pirates, eh? It's a much more treacherous path than even defeating me. Roano Azora. It's too soon for you to die. Grow strong and come find me.
This is an unusual place for a man of your stature.
Afraid I'm not in the mood for a duel today, Hawkeye.
I recently ran into someone who might be of interest to you.
Bring up the reserve booze, boys!
Thought you were hungover. I suppose a drink wouldn't hurt.
Yes, sir. We back and started 2024 off right with the best piece of fiction to ever exist. One Piece. It's been a minute since I covered One Piece on the channel, which I am aware is what majority of you been waiting for. And with Egghead now at play, there's no better time than now. And for those of you that don't know, my goal is to have 100k members of the crew. And if I put my mind to it, we most definitely can get there before the summer. And me uploading a video 2 weeks later isn't gonna cut it. So I'ma lock in. And to quickly rant, my videos does fairly good in the like department, but tends to get sent to the shadow realm by the algorithm. So if you could do me a favor and watch this video from beginning to the end, that'll be greatly appreciated. Or, you know, halfway through, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be all late. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit.
And this is gonna be a long one, so grab your golden Oreos and pink lemonade. Them shits fire. Now with the heat. Yippee. So we at the rooftop with it where Kaido and Big Mom is posted. And Kid and Killer pulls up first ready to stand on business, just the two of them. Now that man Kid got hard cause the last time he tried to take down Kaido it didn't go so well. But hey, bro do not care. Wasting no time, they was ready to get active. But they were interrupted by Zoro screaming as he falls from the air. Going for the save, the big homie Law pulls up fresh as hell. But hold on, cause now it's time for the big homie to step in. You know he had to pull up last. Bro stood there contemplating how he gon' pop out. Luffy was ready to turn up the whole squad with his dramatic ass entrance. Bro gon' stretch out his arm hitting a mean gum pistol on the door. Like bro, was that really necessary? Bro said he gotta have a 10 out of 10 pull up every fight. And there we see the whole gang looking dope as hell. Luffy walks up like the boss he is. And Zoro got his hand on his sword ready for it to fuck with his captain. But Luffy not giving 2 fucks about the 2 packs in front of him. And Kaido tells Big Mom, "Hey gang, what do you think this little brat said he was gonna be in my presence? I'm already knowing. He gave me some mouth too. Yeah, I'ma beat your ass when I see your saggy chin ass. It's up my believe that. And it's up for your ashy ass nappy haired boyfriend too. And that's on East Blue. And he destroyed my castle. So apologize to me first. Hey look, repeat what you said before in front of our faces." Bro gon' ignore him, he worried about his homies. And after Kinemon was done chatting, Kaido tried to be Sneak Nation certified. But Luffy tells Law to teleport the wounded samurai downstairs and evades Kaido's attack feat and bro a mean red rock to the jaw. And Big Mom's in distraught like, I can't believe.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Oh, and about that shit you wanted me to say to your face? I'm Monkey D as in Dog Luffy. I'm the man who'll best you guys and become king of the pirates. So Kaido got the run in his mouth, but don't nobody care for real. So Luffy and Kaido clash hockey and Kaido tries to clean Luffy's shit. But Luffy got the Supreme Weavers. So Big Mom pulls up thinking she's Sneak Nation certified, but he already knows Zoro W mans for real. So he came through like, oh nah, bitch, not my captain. Get that weak shit out of here. That got Luffy cheesing. So Zoro's like, hey gang, lock in, the job isn't finished. Don't forget, you're dealing with 2 emperors. Kaido really thought he was signed to Sneak Nation till the big homie Law came in clutch as always, teleporting Luffy in his direction. But man, you already know Law petty as hell. Telling Luffy the moment we formed this alliance, we were meant to be equal, so don't go barking orders at me like you're above me, gang? Bringing up the fact that Luffy told him to teleport the samurai to safety, when he had planned to do so before he even demanded. Luffy's like, gang, who cares? Then here comes Kid being a D1 instigator. Okay, Luffy, you got motion. You have an ex-warlord as your subordinate. What do you mean? Yeah, man, you follow Luffy's orders like a good little dog, showing your loyalty to him. Oh, no. And on the real, y'all both really lame for real. That's why y'all vibe so well. Oh, nah, you lame. Lame Annie? And yeah, shit like that. While they go at it, Big Mom tried to sneak the three of them with the fireball jutsu. So Luffy came up with a bright idea and was like, it's time to show them in the Narutoverse how we get down. The first person to dodge the attack loses. And that is why I like this trio so much. No matter how serious a situation may be, they will always find a way to make light of it. Zoro's like, y'all need to get out the way. But they trying to show they really tanky for real. And Big Mom thought she was really cooking and was like, I wonder how I'm gonna roll you three in a pack. But Kaido said, relax, woman, you got too much dip on your chip, I'll handle this. So the gang gets up unscathed. Like, of course, a fireball ain't got nothing on the One Piece verse. No shade, though, no shade. And Zoro and Killer is ready to slide. They both pulled up and slashed Kaido, but that had no effect. Now Luffy's back in action and tells Kaido they about to boom bro in one go, and they start to get serious. And bruh, this man Kaido is such a respected charge ass. He looks at them individually as they prepare their technique. And you know Kid and Law couldn't wait to show off because they waited for Kaido to spectate before even doing anything. So bro gonna start running. And I'm just thinking, if he was gonna need a running start, why didn't he do that before? Bro wasted 7 seconds standing there when he could have already been running. Look at bro, he looks like he's winding up for a mean dunk. Bro animation long as hell, and even after all that, bro still in the same position hitting the Air Jordan. At this point, I wonder what Luffy is doing. Is bro still charging at Kaido during this time? So after 30 long minutes of kids setting up Legos, Kaido finally turns in Law's direction and bro just staring. He couldn't wait till Kaido gave him attention. So bro gonna start doing these hand gestures, which I wonder if that was even necessary. Cause I never knew certain rooms activate like ninjutsu. But yeah, they all charge in and Luffy kicks things off first with the King Kong gun, followed up with 2 more blows, hoping 3rd time's a charm. But Kaido said,
light work, no reaction.
So Kid pulls up thinking he's like that and tries to squish bro, but Kaido said,
light work, no reaction.
And then comes Law hoping to make a difference, pulling up with friendly fire, sending spikes down on both Kaido and Kid. That got Kid heated, so he was like, hey gang, you were trying to kill me? But again, we already know Law about petty as it gets, and was like, nah, I just followed up on that weak ass attack. And Luffy trying to be a peacemaker, but they not trying to hear from bro and got the cook in his ass. Now they all got the bickering. So the big homies had to step in telling bros to pipe down and tee up. Cause that wasn't enough to kill Kaido, and now Big Mom joins the fight. And Kaido enters dragon form and creates a tornado sending light slashes from it. So Kaido's spamming and the gang gets the dodging. And bro, it's crazy how I've yet to see Zoro lose a race. Every time he's running with someone, he's always getting past them even when they get a head start. Oda is really letting us know that Zoro is really himmy mac him for real. Like look at bro, he really feeling like he in it. But yeah, Luffy pulls up feeding Kaido a big knee to the jaw, while Kid follows up with a heavenly choke slam, and Law pulling up violating his guts with a gamma knife. Pause. But hold on, the combo keeps going. Cause Killer chimes in on the ass whooping, impelling Kaido with his dual sight, spinning them shits inside him. Like bro really got Kaido arching his back. But dang, they must forgot Big Mom Sneak Nation certified. And Kaido tries to seal the deal, but Luffy pulls up clutch as hell, giving him the foot stamp he used on Doflamingo. So Kaido tries to clap back with a blast breath, but bro must forgot he messing with the best side character's best friend. So Zoro tells Law to teleport him up there, and you already know Law hate being told what to do. So bro gon' hold a grudge. But he teleports Zoro and bro's like, get that weak shit out of here. And Luffy yet again cheesing hard as hell. But hold on, Zoro isn't done yet and calls out for Law. And I like how in sync they always are. Law always know the right plays without even being told. So Law teleports Kaido down while Zoro prepares his attack. And Big Mom on the sidelines nervous as hell, cause she knows Zoro's built different. Telling Kaido to dodge, cause if he gets hit by that attack, he's cooked. So bro started seeing Odin within Zoro getting spooked and dodges the attack but gets grazed on the cheek. Man, that attack sliced through that horn like butter. If Kaido took that head on, bro wouldn't have a head after doing so. But now Zoro's midair, so Big Mom takes notice and struck bro with Indra's lightning. And Luffy's just spectating like, damn, I couldn't be there for my But Big Mom wasn't done yet. She said that whole squad got it and started spamming lightning everywhere. And hey, look at Zoro. He really ate that shit. Couldn't be Itachi. No shade though, no shade. Look at Luffy looking menacing as hell. And Kaido and Big Mom both shook, wondering how the hell is bro resistant to lightning. Which bro's like, I'm made of rubber and was ready to slide for his homies, but Kaido pulls up like, blasting bro with fire. But she, whoop, bro highly immune to fire. And pulls up quick as hell and started tagging Kaido with mad punches into the to be continued screen. And god damn, that ass would be carried over to the next episode. Bro still violating him with all those punches. Nobody wanted to step in cause bro was really going crazy. Luffy had everybody's jaws dropped. And I know you can't see his face, but Killer's the same way. And bro's still going, not giving Kaido any breathing room. Had Kaido pupils roll to the back of his eye sockets. And ended the combo with a triangle heavy, punching Kaido into CGI. Bro's fist had everyone in Onigashima froze. But Luffy wasn't done yet and tries to boom Kaido for good, but his haki started to deplete. And Zoro, being a W-man's, look after his captain. But Big Mom, once again, always trying to sneak when their guard is down and tries to burn them into crisp. But Zoro dodges and Law pulls up with a titty shot. While on the other side of things, Kaido regains consciousness, while Kid and Killer goes to finish him off, but it was too late. Kaido started making twisters, blowing them away. And as Luffy's thanking Zoro for being such a W-man, they both ended up getting caught in one of Kaido's twisters. And Kaido tries to get rid of Luffy by swallowing him, Paul. But Kaido must have forgotten that no one's more of a W-man to their best friend than Zoro. So he got on Kaido's level and creates a dragon twister of his own, cutting Kaido, forcing him to cough up Luffy. And proceeds to once again look after his captain on some W-man shit. And to be honest, they should go into these major battles with me on standby.
Bro, what did you just say?
Okay, pause. I mean like actual food meat so Luffy can replenish his energy quicker. Or at least enough to wake him up to get back in action. Cause bro do be needing months worth of food to actually replenish his energy and shit. But yeah, Kaido gets to spamming once again, and look at Law always having to be on some clean shit. And why Kid always getting those metal hands of his slash? And yeah, I already know Zoro and Killer ain't getting touched. Bro swear he in an edit. Zoro been holding a pose every chance he get. And after all that spamming, the smoke finally clears with Kaido transforming his man-beast hybrid form. And Luffy tells Zoro to hold it down cause he need a minute. Man, you gotta love One Piece. Only in One Piece will you have characters falling asleep mid-battle anytime, anywhere in order to regain energy. But back to the action, Killer pulls up ready to get active and pierces Kaido with Scyther Sonic, but that had no effect since Kaido had evolved into the ultimate Pokemon. And Kaido hits Killer with a home run. And you know Kid had to look after his homie cause they too be like W-mans. And Kaido pulls up spamming yet again, like bro, do you not get tired of that attack? And Big Mom tries to chime in, but Law is too clutch. And Kaido tells Big Mom to get out his way cause he got this. And Law's like, they're strong individually, but together they're overwhelming. But Zoro's like, I ain't tripping, I like a challenge. And my little homie back up ready to get active. You already know, gang. So Luffy and Kaido was throwing hands off screen, and we see Luffy get knocked back by Kaido. And Law's like, y'all need to think before you act. But Luffy ain't trying to hear it and charges right back in at Kaido, but gets knocked back even further. And Big Mom goes for the gang, striking them with lightning, but they get back up cause they really tanky. And they all in disbelief cause out of all that striking they've done, Kaido and Big Mom aren't even phased. But Luffy's like, oh nah, out of all those punches I fed, bro, I know he felt my shit. They're human just like us. Charging back in, but gets smacked immediately. And Zoro's like, hey, gang, you already tried that. Did you really think third time's a charm? Start thinking before you act. And Killer talking like all hope is lost, talking about some, how can you say they're human like us? They're built different. Luffy's like, y'all think you can't beat them? Yet here you are. My boy, we trying to solve that issue. So Law comes up with a plan to remove one of them from the battlefield. And kids like them two together is like hell. But Zoro is unbothered and the gang is too heated up to be fazed by hell. So Kaido and Big Mom unleashes a synchronized attack which had the gang shook. But Zoro steps up showing why he's really big MVP along with Luffy and stops the attack, telling them to get out of here, so Law teleports the gang to safety. And they posted, but Luffy gotta get his get back and charges up a Red Hawk, which Kaido dodges, and Luffy's like, yeah, I got you dodging now. I knew my punches did something to your ass. Bro ain't like that and smacked Luffy across the map for the 100th time. But bro ain't worried. So Luffy and Kaido boxing, moving fast as hell, Dragon Ball Z style. And Luffy pulls up on Weave Nation time and dodging all of Kaido's attacks and leaping the air, styling on bro with a Rock Lee type kick. Y'all can't say Luffy ain't cold with the hands, bro be boxing in the blend. He may utilize his stretching ability a lot, but bro a fool at close combat. Bro just too nimble and light on his feet. But yeah, Luffy and Kaido clash, shaking the entirety of Onigashima. But seems like Kaido won that clash cause he emerged from the smoke talking that shit. Like, can't y'all give me a challenge and leave me with a scar that will not fade? Or scar me enough to give me the chills cause you will die soon. and reminds them that if they lose, he'll take everything away from them. So Kaido and Big Mom gets ready to end things once and for all until Luffy popped out the rubble. Kaido look annoyed as hell because bro won't stay down. He's like a fly that keeps coming back no matter how many times you swipe it. And it was like, you're not going to win. We'll show you how determined we are. So Kaido and Big Mom charges in with Luffy clashing with Kaido before getting put across the map. And of course, when it's always a 1v1 situation between Luffy and Kaido, Big Mom always have to go for the spectators and start shooting mad lasers, which Law opens up a room to shield himself, which is crazy because I never knew bro could do that. But Big Mom sends another his way, cracking his shield, and Luffy's like, oh no, not my, and pulls up on Big Mom but gets speed blitzed by Kaido and gets hit with a blast breath. Then Kaido started lecturing Luffy and tried to finish him, but Zoro, being a W-Mans as expected, telling Kaido, if you trying to take out my captain, then you're gonna have to take me out first. But Kaido started lecturing Zoro, and once that was said and done, he tried to clean his shit. But W-Mans gotta protect the fellow W-Mans, and Luffy pulls up for the save. And with the most crisp of animations, Luffy punches Kaido in the gut. Like, you know you really him for real if the animators fuck with you heavy on some shit that they gotta up the quality on a single punch. Bro shifted to H.
So Oden versus Kaido is very controversial. There's a ton of people that really strongly believe that Oden, stronger than Kaido, is still stronger than Kaido to this day. And there's other people on the other side that believe that Kaido is way above Oden, and the gap just widened over the years. So the thing is with this is that I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and tell you that in this specific case, the anime will be canon. I never believe that the anime is canon. I've documented this many times about this 7 different directors, Oda's very limited involvement, etc., especially after what they've done to the admirals. But in this case, I'm not going to use it for scaling, but I'm going to bring it up just because it's very interesting the way that they document this fight compared to the manga. The situation here, and like I said, I don't like a lot of the anime's portrayal of things, but they actually, in my opinion, cover this fight better, and it makes a lot more sense in the anime. And I'm gonna tie it into what the manga does, because there's so many like inconsistencies with what's stated and what's shown. We're gonna break it all down. The thing that we need to understand is that when Oden first came back from his journeys with Whitebeard and Roger, he stated to be multiple times stronger than when he first left. Obviously, when he first left, he had that clash with Whitebeard. Now, people bring up this clash with Whitebeard and think that they're going to scale anything with this clash with Whitebeard. It's crazy. It's almost like, I just talked about Fujitora in my last video. It's almost like Fujitora like blocking Zoro, blocking one of Sabo's attacks. It's just casual. Obviously, he did kind of load back up, but he stood in place and just kind of blocked the attack. I don't think in any way, shape, or form Oden scaled anywhere near Whitebeard at this instance, which is kind of reinforced by the fact that years passed, and then he has the moment with Roger where he gets completely outclassed with the Divine Departure. Now, he did have really good durability that we're going to bring up later, but when he watches Whitebeard and Roger clash, he clearly admits inferiority to the two of them, so him being relative to that Whitebeard at that point makes no sense. So I've never got on board with that. I think Oden is the one character in the series where I actually love the anime adaptation of things for really the whole story, more so than his manga adaptation, because the Whitebeard fight is extended. It's a really cool fight in the anime, and then they just make it very clear Whitebeard just dogged him out with the Gura. Even with just the manga material, him seeing the Roger and Whitebeard clash, and then those two being relative to each other and having their big moment, which Oden couldn't even believe, couldn't even fathom, and then like immediately getting sent through the trees by Roger. Albeit, like I said, he does tank that Divine Departure and gets back up right away. He took damage from it, but he was clearly capable of still fighting, and it seems he kept fighting with somebody for 3 days. Who that is, we don't know. Obviously, anime made it seem as if it was Gabon, but that's not in the manga, so I'm not going to say that. Actually, interestingly enough, you don't actually even see Oden as part of the Whitebeard pirate force that faces off with the Roger pirate force, which is interesting. You could even take an interpretation that he didn't even fight. He was too wounded from the Roger attack, but that'd be stretching things. I think that it's more likely that he did fight, but obviously, I just want to point this out. Now, to bring all that full circle, what I wanted to get across was that he is many times stronger than when he left Wano, returning to Wano to fight Kaido. He should be stronger than all those interactions. You take all the totality of those training. I've seen some people misinterpret this statement here to say a lot of wild things. Some people even think it said that he was equal to Roger and Whitebeard, which is absurd, and I don't even think they believed what they were saying. Other people have interpreted it to mean that he's many times stronger than even the time where he's fighting at the island where Whitebeard and Roger were fighting. No, he's just many times stronger from the day he left Wano. So that's all that this means. Don't let anybody else believe. With that known, you actually see that Kaido and Oden actually had a clash when Oden first returned to Wano, and it was base Kaido and Oden. They were relative, They had a clash. It wasn't prolonged. Obviously, that's when Odin agreed to do the dancing in the streets and Orochi got into his head. But seeing that clash with Base is very telling, and we're gonna reference that again later. So after this, 5 years passed. And over this 5 years, that's when Odin was dancing in the streets. But during this time, we don't get any inclination that he was training further or doing anything. Obviously, he had his scabbards there, but he was holding the heavy burden of what Orochi's deal with him was. I don't really know if he was even mentally capable of making himself stronger. Maybe you'd argue it made him mentally stronger to have gone through this, and maybe he's more mad after it. But I just don't think there's going to be any way to argue he got stronger during this time. On the contrary, though, Kaido's notably expanding his empire and has documented fights with the likes of like Moria. Now, you could say that Moria was fodder at the time. Again, anime adaptation makes it a lot better with the actual clash we get on screen, which could kind of be one-to-one compared to Odin clashing with that same base Kaido. But we obviously don't know what happened in that fight. The way that it looks in the manga, we don't see any clash, but they make it seem as if it was a war that Moria was defeated. And I don't know if, Moria was just way stronger back then than obviously at the current time. He's just completely washed. The whole point I'm making is that if anybody got stronger over the 5 years, it would be Kaido more so than Odin. So then we get to the final fight, and in fairness, you see that Odin, he was cutting through all these soldiers. They were greatly outnumbered. It was the scabbards versus, thousands of troops, namely fodder though, besides king and queen. But somehow Odin did take some damage from some of these fodder people. At least they're showing scuff marks. Maybe that's just, to indicate he was semi-fatigued, but certainly there's a disadvantage there. But then you also see the king and queen take on multiple scabbards each. The scabbards essentially just fight those two, which I think is pretty cool for king and queen. But when we actually cut into Kaido versus Odin himself, there's really weird dialogue. So the first thing you see is that Kaido is landing attacks in dragon form, lands a Boro Breath, he sends Odin flying, and Odin has visible damage that's added on from Kaido. So he was taking damage from Kaido, he was slow to get back up, and then when he actually does land the Paradise Totsuka, these people say he actually landed a blow on invincible Kaido, implying that that was the only attack he actually landed. It's super weird given that it also states the battle lasted longer than expected and Kozuki Odin's strength surpassed the enemy's imagination. But this kind of could be interpreted in a couple ways too, because maybe it's a situation where, Kaido really didn't believe Odin was going to be somebody that could fight him. He does say something along the lines of like, when Odin first returned, that he would have had a better chance when they first returned. He didn't really know how strong Odin truly was, but if he lived up to his reputation, especially if he joined up with Yogoro, shit was gonna be weird. He even said that he sensed they were at a disadvantage. So I don't know, but the way you can interpret this is that Kaido's kind of dogging Odin and no blows are landed, and then Odin kind of just comes out of nowhere with Totsuka, lands that, and then now he surpassed the imagination of what Kaido had thought he was going to be capable of. Here we get this moment where it looks as if Kaido falls down and Odin is going for what a lot of people think to be a kill shot, although he says never come back to Wano. So I don't know, is he banishing him to hell, or is he just gonna knock him out? Who knows? Probably knock out, if anything. But I don't even know if you want to just make the assumption that Kaido's done here. Like, how many times have we seen Kaido knocked down to just get back up? He's even looked in worse shape. Even when the scabbards knocked him down, he looked in bad shape. He looked in bad shape in Koreatown when Luffy was punching him all around. Looked in bad shape when Luffy's rocking his shit in hybrid with his eyes going away and everything. It's just a situation where I don't think that that's ever going to be cause to believe that he's going to be down, especially with what we've seen Kaido take and his crazy endurance and durability. But in this case, people really staunchly believe Odin was going to put him down. Now, the anime represents it as Odin lands the attack, Kaido gets back up in base, they both go for a clash, and then that's when Odin gets distracted. Now, in the manga, I actually do believe that that still makes more sense. Of course, on panel, you still see what looks to be Kaido in dragon form. But one thing you gotta understand is the point of this fight and the point of Luffy's fight later, where he's in Gear 4 and the CP0 agent interrupts the fight, is that they're supposed to parallel. Now, when we look at that fight, what happens? It's a clash that's about to take place, and right before the culminating moment of the fight, in the heat of battle, the glorious moments, Kaido, who's still actually holding back based on the weapon moveset that he pulls out later, gets the thrill of battle ripped away from him from CP0. And he ends up following through with an attack on Luffy because it was already in motion. That's the way they portray it in the anime for Odin and Kaido as well. Now, if you look at the way that this is structured and how Kaido reacts, he's extremely upset with the old hag, he calls her, for disrupting the fight. And he immediately gets up and then KOs Odin, with the off guard, with the distraction. The thing that doesn't make any sense is If Kaido was gonna be mad at the old hag, why would he then off guard Odin? It makes way more sense for it to have been in a situation where Kaido was getting back up in base and was already just running toward Odin with the Kanebo and then just followed through with the attack when he turned. It also, from the time period, Odin is only supposed to barely look over his shoulder at the distraction, and it's supposed to be a brief second where he's caught by surprise, and then boom, Kaido's attack is supposed to be right there waiting. So the only logical conclusion you can take from this is that Kaido is already in the process of reverting back to base as Odin starts running over, and then he instinctively is getting up to meet Odin in the middle, where to his dismay, he gets met with Odin being completely back turned and off guard. This all happens in a split second. There's no time for Kaido to be unconscious, as you already saw him screaming, as I mentioned. Unconscious, wake up, sense where Odin is, understand he's off guard, and then sneak him on purpose. That doesn't make any sense, any way you slice it. If you look at Kaido's face, he's clearly in the heat of battle, where it's like, oh, he's getting a boom, and he's coming with that uppercut, with the Bagua uppercut, obviously, you know what I'm saying? So even if you think that it's a situation where, because he's in the process of reverting, Odin's still gonna have the advantage getting over there because he's in motion first, and then Kaido's gonna have to try to meet that force. We've already seen that 5 years ago, base Kaido was a relative match for Odin's speed. Even if the balance shifts a little bit to give Odin the advantage here to where he can land another attack, even if this attack lands, this is gonna be an on-guard base Kaido at this point, so he takes another attack. It wasn't a Totsuka, mind you, the only attack that was actually even able to land on Kaido. There's just no way you can just state that this fight's over. I would just assert that, okay, let's say he gets hit with that attack, now he takes it more serious, as he hadn't been hit before the Totsuka, especially when you understand all the things that he was holding back that we get to see later. If Kaido was done there, you're just basically saying he's mad because, you know, his death was taken away, which I could see people arguing because he wants to die. But then it's like, well, why did he follow through with the attack? He could have just simply waited until Odin was, he could have called out to Odin or even to get him back paying attention, as he kind of lectures Luffy in their fight as well. It's a weird situation. Kaido would essentially be a hypocrite to his own character, which I feel will diminish him going forward and diminish his self-confidence in future fights. You never get any inclination of Kaido having any sort of self-doubt. He truly believes no one in the world can beat him. That's after even seeing Gear 5 Luffy. That's after even having a small skirmish with Shanks. He believes it. Now, do I believe it? No, but I'm just saying that Kaido is very confident in his own abilities and actually doesn't even think that there's gonna be somebody to challenge him. I also see people saying, well, no, it does affect his confidence going forward. He has PTSD about Odin. Whether you think it's PTSD or not, just because he reacts like when Enma's used by Zoro and he like dodges the sword and understands the presence of Odin, he obviously respected Odin. It's a situation where it's like, what, does he just curl up in a ball and run away from Zoro when he sees he has Enma? Like, no, he just handles Zoro, takes him out, and then continues moving on and just continues fighting. Like, people think that if Odin resurrected, Kaido wouldn't be excited. Kaido would be fucking the first one to say, let's fucking fight then, let's fight again, type shit. It makes way more sense to go in line with that interpretation that he was already going for the attack, the Bagua, and Odin just happened to be caught by surprise as Kaido was already rushing toward him. I feel like it's just a crazy reach to just assume that Kaido is done at this point, especially if this is truly the only blow that was landed on him the entire time. Like, what? Come on now, dude. Like, we've seen Kaido eat attack after attack after attack from even Gear 5 Luffy, Zoro, who's somebody very similar to Odin in terms of AP, Yamato, Law, Kid, characters with Durag, all the scabbards. You see him go through a gauntlet of just absolute insane endurance. So it's either you think that Kaido has gotten an insane stat boost since, which again would still aid the argument for Kaido just being, you know, well above Odin by this point, or you're just basically being disingenuous to think that Kaido is taken out with one attack essentially. Could Odin have won here? It's plausible, but regardless, I don't know if he even scales to this Kaido in terms of like, if Kaido's taking it seriously, like who wins? Because why do we never see the hybrid form in any point in this fight? You could just say it's off screen because that wasn't revealed yet in the manga. I understand that line of logic, but it's a bad crutch because we're kind of just stuck with the facts, which is stated to be above the base form 100% in all physical stats. And I actually think that you could argue that this could also include the dragon form because there's no other outside statements for the dragon form, and it's in reference to him transforming from the dragon form into this anyway. But even if you go with the interpretation, if you take this kind of interpretation that it's just the combination of the dragon and the human where it's like the good attributes of the dragon form, so like the increased dragon scale durability, is just combined with Kaido's actual combat fighting style, his actual prowess, the way he can actually effectively use his weapon. Any way you slice it, the hybrid form is going to be above this form and has better feats regardless. With, you know, Gear 5 Luffy scaling and all this shit, hybrid form has the best feats. People argue for dragon form because it clashed with Bajrangan, but I would just simply say that Kaido would perform better in his hybrid form anyway. It was simply just an optical choice by Oda to make the dragon form clash because the size, the scale of Bajrangan, it would look kind of weird if Kaido did it in his hybrid form. But realistically, like, if we get out of the realm of the verse, like, Kaido would be stronger in hybrid, especially given that he's going to be channeling the power through his Kanabo, which you've seen characters like Whitebeard, like his Basento purposely is able to channel his full power, so the strike he would land would be better. Also, even if you take that, the flaming Bagua is completely different from the dragon form we see here, so it's not even comparable by that, right? The hybrid form would be above, so especially when you see that he was relative to a base Kaido 5 years ago speed-wise, he should be outclassed by hybrid form if they were to fight there. Then also have the drunken forms that Kaido has. Where are those that he keeps getting stronger and stronger? We can go on and on with this shit. It's really a situation where it's like, what do you think, that he just didn't have access to his hybrid form? There's precedent for you being able to use your hybrid form right away. Is it just a writing decision from Oda? Not really sure, but I just think that stating that Oden's above Kaido doesn't make any sense, especially when you consider that it's heavily implied that Kaido's continuously gets stronger. He's supposed to be in his prime now. This one is contentious though, because like Sengoku says that there were no way like they were when they were in the Rock stage. So is that just comparing them to rocks? Could he have been 20 years ago as strong as he is now? I guess it's possible. You also have Hina and Garp kind of having a statement where they're saying that their power continues to grow. Is that political power in terms of like their empire strength, like they're building their forces, which makes sense because Kaido's added the Tobi Roppo. He just had King and Queen before, he now has Jack, the Tobi Roppo. Yamato, if you want to classify as an ally at parts of Kaido's reign. So that makes sense. Big Mom, on the other hand, obviously has had more kids, or kids continue to age, get stronger. So it makes sense from that kind of lens too. It's super weird though, considering that, like I mentioned earlier with Oden taking the Divine Departure, that if he was able to take a Divine Departure from Roger, which Oda says in an SBS Advanced Conquerors, he also says that this Totsuka was Advanced Conquerors in that SBS. Oden does have Conquerors Haki, some people think he doesn't. Ashford Doji even mentions this when Luffy used Conquerors Haki in Curry Town when he was unconscious, that was Oden's special trick. So yes, he 100% has Conquerors. How the hell could he not take that attack from base Kaido? Obviously it's off guard, like when the distraction comes for Momonosuke, but you've seen characters like Akainu take an off-guard, like island-splitting punch from fucking Whitebeard and get right back up and then rip off half his face. Like, you see off-guard attacks land on people and they don't get just like well-washed and just completely finished. How many times has Kizaru been off-guarded by Luffy? Like, we can go on and on. Why is Oden just done? You know, so it kind of seems like obviously there was damage built up for Oden. He was already close to being defeated if it was only going to take one more strike from base Kaido. So imagine what a hybrid strike would do. And then it's a situation where it's like dragon form is clearly the least mobile. Yes, he has weird feats compared to hybrid against Gear 4 when he started using Future Sight, but he just kind of went into a flight mode where he zipped through the punches with Future Sight. Him doing something with Future Sight in a lesser form doesn't take away from what he would do with that same Future Sight in the hybrid form. It's just a optic decision because he has better feats with hybrid after that anyway. We don't even know if he had Future Sight at this time either. So it's super weird. So I think in totality, being absolutely fair, you got to take into account that Oden was partially fatigued before actually getting to Kaido. He had to buzzsaw through thousands of soldiers. They were at a great disadvantage from a number standpoint. That includes the scabbards against King Queen as well. So you take that into account. I think it'd be fair to say Kaido still wins high diff at that point. Really, that even may be generous because I really believe that hybrid form could just truly cliff Oden by a pretty wide margin. But because of the fatigue, because of the situation where it was a grave disadvantage, I'll say it's going to be a high diff at that time. As far as today, I just think Oden at best is going to get to a mid diff. I mean, he still should be able to damage him, but, you know, Kaido has better feats that far and away cliff his older self. I really just don't see Oden stacking up today.
With 300 mini-kits, 30 red bricks, 30 superhero statuses, and 25 hostages. This is what it takes to 100% LEGO Batman the video game. Well, that and various characters, vehicles, there's some data entries, and I guess like a couple of bonus levels, whatever, you get the idea. Point is, there's a lot to collect, and you're intended to replay every level using free play, which gives you an extended roster of characters and abilities to pick up a majority of everything the game has to offer. Today, we will not be doing that. My goal is to see how close to 100%ing LEGO Batman the video game we can get without ever hitting free play. Using a complex series of glitches, exploits, and pixel-perfect positionings, we can push this game to the max without ever needing to press that button. And I'm not yanking your chain when I say complex. A majority of you watching this video are going to enter thinking, I never knew you could throw a batarang on a tightrope, and leave thinking, to be honest, the lag abuse wall jumps in 2-1 don't require nearly as much skill as, say, the super jump janitor catch push up warp in 4-5, or even the numerous FTT bar launches throughout the run. Everything I said there was real and will happen in the next 40 minutes. As I do in the beginning of all of these videos, I'd like to thank the LEGO Batman speedrun community in general for already having a lot of the legwork done for a challenge run like this. But in specific, I'd like to give an enormous thanks to a runner named Senor, who actually ran this challenge side by side with me over Discord so I wouldn't get stuck along the way. Sure, sometimes we got a little sidetracked. Oh shit, he's dead. Like, he's getting firebombed? Oh no, it's a helicopter. They're like firebombing the guy. Imagine getting like your proposal bombed by the fucking Scarecrow. Like not even like an A-lister, just like a B-lister villain. But overall, I could not have gotten anywhere close to our final value percentage without his help. Go give him some thanks in the comments and follow his Twitch in the description for some high-octane gaming.
Okay, fine, you take that button. Okay, fine, you don't take that button. Okay, fine, you take that button. Which button do you want? Which button do you want? Bro, choose a button!
Unlike the LEGO Indiana Jones video where I kind of just did everything all at once, we decided to format this challenge a little bit differently. We started out on the first day grabbing every collectible we deemed as easy. These included ones that you're casually able to grab in story, like the one up top in 1-1, but also some more unintentional ones that required simple tech to pull off. For example, we're going to be abusing in-game lag a lot throughout this video. You can create lag in a variety of ways, but the safest and least likely to crash your game is done by hitting Ctrl-Alt-Delete, and then hitting Escape to close the menu and enter back into the game. The lag created through this is useful in a variety of ways. It helps us displace our character's position to grab items through walls, and even increase the length of our jumps in some scenarios. However, its most practical use is for clipping out of bounds in conjunction with another glitch called a BRC. BRC, or batarang clip, lets you fall through certain objects by pulling out your batarang. If you fall and get sandwiched between an object and a wall, you can then use Ctrl-Alt-Delete to force your character through. This is used right away in 1-1 to get the mini-kit behind the glass window we are unable to break. Of course, not everything is this complicated. There's still some funny developer oversights that make our life easier, like how you can build the truck in the toxic waste by standing on the tire and going piece by piece. I wouldn't consider the following vehicle clip to be an oversight, but it is what it is. I totally nailed Tech Suit Skip first try without having to spend 3 minutes on attempts, and including the red brick grab in the Clayface fight, we were able to leave with a healthy 5 mini-kits, completed hostage, and fast grapple extra. There aren't any extras that really change the game for us here, but there are still some bricks that make things a little easier.
In this episode, we head to the harbor in Ventura, California. It was there, back in 1994, that married couple Mikey and Lynn decided to open up Greek at the harbor. It was an instant success at first, with Mikey's immigrant mentality and work ethic helping pave the way. His American dream was fulfilled. Fast forward to 2011, and there are many problems. Mikey is burnt out.
He's been working 365 days a year for 17 years. He's just burning out from being here so long.
The food quality has dropped.
I don't like this. You don't like it? The veggies came out raw, and then I brought out more, and they were still raw.
Customers are not as frequent. To make matters worse, there's tension between him and his son Eris, who serves as the manager. Mikey doesn't want his help or to let him be anywhere near the kitchen.
It's almost like I'm not good enough for him.
With no progress, Lynn is fearing the worst. Can Chef Ramsay help turn things around for Greek at the harbor? When Gordon first arrives outside the restaurant, he is blown away at how beautiful the setting is. Located on the waterfront boardwalk of Ventura, California, Ramsay wonders how any restaurant could fail in this location. Our favorite chef walks in and is greeted by Lynn, Mikey, and Eris. The first thing is to sit down with the family to find out exactly what has gone wrong at the restaurant. Mikey reveals things started to take a turn for the worse in the last few years, and they're not.
Oh,
Right, but it is what it is. I totally nailed Tech Suit Skip first try without having to spend 3 minutes on attempts, and including the red brick grab and the clayface fight, we were able to leave with a healthy 5 mini-kits, completed hostage, and fast grapple extra. There aren't any extras that really change the game for us here, but there are still some bricks that make things a little easier on us, like fast build, so we opted to route that in ASAP. This meant going straight from 1-1 to episode 3, which started off pretty laid back. There's only a few kits in the beginning that we were worrying about for now. There's this tight glide grab, nice. This one on the wall that we can get from using an extended glide from the stairs, and of course the one you get from cleaning.
You won't find anyone quicker to criticize Magic the Gathering than me, and chief among my long list of incredibly valid and handsome complaints is the seismic shift in the game's design philosophy to becoming a commander-first product. Now, before you give me your actuallys in the comments, let me clarify that this is more of a personal beef that I have with what I feel is splitting your game's player base, than anything in particular about Wizards or Magic. One of the biggest fears I have with our small, beloved hobby is that introducing alternate formats into the game is going to drive a wedge between our already limited player base, and will hurt the game in the long run, as one of the formats will ultimately prove to be more profitable than the other and necessarily demand the most attention. It's possible that Speed Duel, both paper and Duel Links, and Time Wizard events have already assuaged that fear, but it's clear that both are designed to be subservient products. This is one of the reasons that I think Rush Duels have not yet been brought over to the West as a standalone product, and not just a feature of Duel Links. All this to say that while I heckle Magic for its fractured player base, I don't know that I've ever seen a community more divided in which media it consumes than Yu-Gi-Oh! A clear line of demarcation exists between people who loved and lived by the anime, and players who have never seen and won't touch it. I don't think I've ever met a Pokémon TCG player who didn't play the games or watch the show. Granted, the average age of such players is roughly 12. And it would be ridiculous to imagine a One Piece player who hadn't made that long journey at least once. But it's not only common for us to meet a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player who hasn't watched any Yu-Gi-Oh! Aside from maybe some DM as a child, it's expected. You might say that this is because Pokémon and One Piece are massive, ongoing media franchises while Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not. And while I think that's now true, it wasn't always the case. There has now been a drought of Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime for nearly 5 years. Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, considered by many the best main series anime, ended in 2019. And while Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s would get dubbed and introduced to English-speaking audiences through channels like Disney XD and Hulu, again that line in the sand exists. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s and Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush are not Yu-Gi-Oh! animes. They're Rush Duel animes, and it's hard to find any crossover appeal with the TCG audience, something they were able to do extremely well in Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns. I'm also not saying that there's anything wrong with Rush Duels or 7s or Go Rush for that matter. I've played enough Rush Duel and Duel Links to comfortably claim that I think it's fun, albeit for a totally different reason than the TCG, and I would write a strongly worded letter to Konami to advocate for adopting the Rush Duel card format in the TCG. While I'm not 7's greatest defender, I've watched a few episodes subbed, and I don't find anything offensive about it, but it isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! For so many in our community, myself included, the anime is Yu-Gi-Oh! Whether it be from childhood nostalgia or simply seeing the cards that we play brought to life on the screen, Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise has enough consistent attributes to form a continuity across series. Zexal or Reigns, 5Ds or GX, from the hair to the stare, we know what makes a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. And it should be no surprise that many of the most popular archetypes among fans are archetypes from the anime. Dark Magicians, Hero, Altergeist, Super Heavy Samurai, some of the decks with the most unique and mechanically interesting playstyles and visual designs come from the anime. Unfortunately, what looks best on screen and what plays best in a YCS are rarely congruent. And while many of these decks have limited or no competitive success, we all know what hoops Konami jumped through to get Blue Eyes to win Worlds. These decks are still the heart and soul of many players. In one of the first videos on my channel, I make the claim that legacy support is the lifeblood of Yu-Gi-Oh! And much product is designed with that core value in mind. digging through the annals of Yu-Gi-Oh's animated past to bring into the modern day cards from yesteryear. I mean, in the past year alone, we've gotten Rubel, Gate Guardian, Gold Sarcophagus, Volcanics, the list goes on forever. And while I'm a big advocate for this method of support, and I'm as easy to nostalgia bait as anybody, I think that we're in agreement that we're nearing the end of the line for anime legacy support. I mean, really? Doodle Beasts? We can't keep living off the corpse of DM and GX forever. As much as I love those series deeply, it's clear when something begins to stagnate, and you can only circumambulate so many times before it turns into spinning the drain. We need a new main series Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Something to breathe life into the TCG once again, and get people excited. This will not only reinvigorate current fans, but will set the stage for legacy support for years to come. 10 years from now, when we're getting Dingus Goblin legacy support instead of the 16th wave of Salamandrates, it will feel as fresh to fans then as it does to us now. Protecting posterity and ensuring the long-term health of your brand is something that far-seeking, intelligent companies do. There are a few hurdles that must be jumped when discussing the potential for a new main series anime. Typically, new Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG animes coincide with the release of a new Master Rule and a new summoning mechanic, synchros in 5Ds, pendulums in Arc 5, etc. And while there's much in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community that we don't agree on, I think most of us are in consensus that we don't need a new summoning mechanic. While a new mechanic would make introducing a new series easy and expand the design space, I don't know that there's room in the game for a new summoning mechanic, especially when the mechanics we already have are getting watered down and diluted as is. Synchro monsters that don't require tuners, fusion monsters that fusion summon themselves with materials from Grave, etc. Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't in a space for a new summoning mechanic. I personally think that this is an opportunity to create a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that doesn't need to lean on a new summoning mechanic to push the show. Maybe using those resources to instead focus on characters or a more cohesive plot. I don't think that this is likely. Much of the reason they've shifted to rush duels in the first place is out of this idea of simplifying the game. So adding an additional layer of complexity or continuing with more of the same just doesn't make sense. Even the Rush Duel animes relied on pushing a new product, in this instance an entirely new game, in order to justify the anime's existence. And at some point it begs the question of what Konami wants from their franchise. Not every media property has to be some massively intertwined, multi-avenue superstar, but I can't be the only one who just wants more from our game. Obviously, the new Series 7 and Go Rush have taken much of the attention in the anime space over the past handful of years, and with Go Rush still in production, it seems like the ship has sailed on a new main series anime. There is one more possible route to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime that is worth discussing. In February of this year, Konami released a short video titled Yu-Gi-Oh! The Chronicles, which featured short animated sequences of various archetypes from Melfi's to Sky Striker, and basically fulfilled what many in the player base have been asking for a long time. Instead of a main series anime about playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, just give us an anime about the cards themselves. People have been discussing the potential of archetypes like World Legacy or Branded for years, and seeing something like this manifested got a lot of people's hopes up. I'm a little more pessimistic than many, and I don't believe this is going to translate into a full-on animated series, and certainly not something that is concurrent alongside set releases. I think we're a long ways off from the Snake Eyes via Bellstar anime releasing alongside core set launches, but it is something to be hopeful about. This is something that I don't think I'm in the minority about. Even players that don't care about the anime in the least recognize how important anime support is in increasing the game's popularity and staying power in the culture. We should be upset that so many of the pop culture references and memes from our franchise are over 20 years old. If that's not stale, I don't know what is. It may be possible that we're never getting away from Yugi and Kaiba. It may be that that's what many of us would prefer. All I'm trying to say is that if we don't want to be making screw the rules I have money jokes a decade from now, we're going to need new energy put into the space. And I think that an exciting new anime could come around and be a major player in doing just that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff if you did. And remember to wash behind your ears.
What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here. And recently, we saw one of the biggest PR disasters in gaming history. Well, guess we got two of them. We have just witnessed a monumental screw-up on par with the day before and the Battlefront 2 loot box fiasco. And if you don't believe me, by the end of this video, I think you will. Today we are diving into one of the greediest and scummiest video game developers, and quite possibly one of the dumbest scams ever attempted. If you guys thought what Ubisoft was doing with Star Wars Outlaws was bad, Battlestate Games just said, "Don't hold my beer. Hold my fifth of vodka." Battlestate Games is the developer of Escape from Tarkov, an extremely popular extraction-based shooter. Over the last 7 years, EFT has gathered a very dedicated hardcore fan base, partly because nothing else on the market is quite like it. Nothing else satisfies that same itch. This is both a blessing and a curse for Tarkov fans, because without true competition, companies tend to abuse their monopoly. And that's what's happened with BSG. They have absolutely lost their minds. They attempted to scam their most die-hard players, introduced pay-to-win mechanics, and have doubled down harder than any company I have ever seen. And while later on they did try and course correct, we'll talk about that later. And why has protecting your internet security gotten so awesome with NordVPN? In this age of increased online 2-year plan. So on April 25th, Tarkov fans were treated to a spectacular announcement, a wondrous massive update, which would include the highly anticipated offline co-op PvE mode. Consistent progression, no wipes, just you and the boys and a good time, right?
Were it so easy.
However, this PvE mode would be exclusive to those who purchased the new version of Escape from Tarkov, the Unheard Edition.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Available to you for the low, affordable, reasonable, generous price of...
Fuck you! Give me $250!
What's that? What's that? You can't afford that? Oh, look at me. I'm a regular person. Oh, I have to pay for groceries. I have to pay rent. Oh, woe is me. I'm not a millionaire. That's right. For 250 big ones, you too can get an armband that marks you as a target of harassment and discrimination by the rest of the community. Let's think about this. If the base version of Tarkov is $50, then this DLC is 4 times more expensive. Maybe that's why they call it the Unheard Edition, because $200 for DLC is unheard of. Or because the complaints of the Tarkov community have gone unheard by the developers for many years. For reference, the Elden Ring Collector's Edition was $60 cheaper. It came with all of this stuff and a Statue of Millennia. Looks pretty goddamn good. I think this was worth it. You could buy 2 Ultimate Editions of Star Wars Outlaws for the price of the Unheard Edition. Consider this. If you and 3 buddies want to play the Tarkov PvE mode and support the developers instead of playing a mod, $1,000!
Are you high right now? What?
Charging people between $100 to $250 for a PvE mode it's insane. One thing I should have mentioned in my AAA games video is that we're living in a time where people expect free updates. The industry has mostly grown past paid map packs and seasons passes that split the community into the haves and the have-nots, which makes the $250 price tag all the more ridiculous. Most AAA companies aren't even this greedy. This is like quadruple A greedy. Also keep in mind that Battlestate Games is a business, and businesses, before launching a product, talk about how much they should sell it for. This decision was agreed upon and announced. They thought this was the right price.
I'm retarded?
If you're wondering why people were so pissed, it's because a PvE mode has been Tarkov's most requested feature for a very long time. So they all thought you would eat all this shit up. What's wrong with you? Aren't you a good consumer? Just shut up and buy it. Zoom, zoom, it's time to consume. I love consuming.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
But hold on. 1 year ago, Nikita Buyanov, the CEO, said that offline PvE raids with progression was not an option. Could this recent change have anything to do with the other upcoming extraction shooters that will include a PvE mode? Uh-oh, it's hurting again. It's hurting up here. It wasn't just the price that people were upset about. For a game as oppressive and hardcore as Tarkov, every advantage matters a lot. How players gain and risk those advantages through skill, luck, map knowledge, and creativity is integral to the appeal of Tarkov. So to make this blood sacrifice of your bank account seem more enticing, BSG would allow you
to pay to win.
Much of the content offered in Unheard is blatantly pay to win features and would give you a huge head start in front of the aforementioned peasants. But how to explain this to non-Tarkov players? Well, imagine, if you will, an alternate reality where there exists a super deluxe version of Counter-Strike, where you can pay for immediate advantages over those that don't, like being able to call in reinforcements after your teammates have already been killed. Where this version gives you more starting money than other players. This version of Counter-Strike does not exist in our world, thankfully. But this version of Tarkov does exist in the Twilight Zone. And that's where it feels like we are, the fucking Twilight Zone. Because here's when things go from bad to worse. You see, Battlestate offered multiple versions of Tarkov during the 7 years it's been in beta, so fans have been responsible for funding Tarkov's development, and if you are willing to spend $150 on a game that isn't even finished, I'd say you're a true believer. Edge of Darkness was the Ultimate Edition, and one of the promises made was that everyone who bought EOD would get all future DLC for free. Until now. JK, Unheard of is actually the Super Ultimate Edition. But luckily for you EOD owners, you only have to pay $100 to get it. Objection! You do not need to buy anything at any stage. If you have EOD, you do not even pay for DLCs in the future. You are all in it for all coming.
So that was a fucking lie.
Care to explain this, BSG?
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This is a fucking scam. Everyone who bought EOD believed in Battlestate, and they took a leap of faith for you. Well, look where they jumped. Into the fucking abyss. Say hi to the Four Kings for me. You can't just falsely advertise something for 6 years and then pull the plug. That's against the law. I am above the law! Many Tarkov fans were understandably upset at this point. So you made a bad call, BSG. As the day before developers once said, shit happens. The best thing to do in a situation like this is take a few days, reconsider priorities, talk with your team, and start drafting an apology post that you... Why is the community manager talking on Discord? Wait, what did he say? It ain't DLC. It's unique feature of the new edition added. DLC means additional downloadable content. PvE is a feature and a game mode. Just because you all want it to become a DLC, it wouldn't mean it is one.
What verbal diarrhea just came out of your mouth? Are you f***ing serious?
No, guys, you got it all wrong. This PvE mode isn't DLC. You just keep consuming. Don't you like buying things? Go on and buy. Spend more money, you fucking idiot.
You want to explain yourself? What are you doing? What are you doing? Making a mistake. Making a mistake.
Bro, you're not releasing Escape from Tarkov 2 Electric Boogaloo. This isn't separate from... You need the base game to install the Unheard content. Therefore, it is downloadable content. Okay, so maybe the community manager just went rogue for a bit. Well, let's reel him in, talk about this as a team, so we can... Who's managing the Twitter account? PvE is a unique feature which is available only for the owners of the Unheard Edition. We will keep you updated on new features exclusive for EOD owners.
Objection!
New game modes are generally accepted as DLC if put behind a paywall. Battlestate sold EOD with the promise that they would receive free access to all subsequent DLC. And if you check these links, like this link is, what is DLC in gaming? Just answering the most basic question. But as you can see from the Wayback Machine, free access to all subsequent DLCs. When companies mess up, it's not uncommon for them to initially double down on a bad decision. What you don't often see is the triple down. You should have just taken a page out of EA's book and said, we don't call it DLC, we call it surprise scamming. Obviously the idea that this isn't DLC is just preposterous to even the most simple-minded sloth, but the reason they're trying to argue that this isn't DLC is so that they can justify charging you for it. And it was around this point, this tweet, that people started digging, and they found something quite interesting. All of the developer diary videos talking about the Edge of Darkness edition, those have vanished. Oh, and that's not all. BSG has changed the phrasing of what's included in EOD on their website. This was revealed live on stream by Landmark.
Dude, they fucking removed it? Are you kidding me? On the left is the current page, escapefromtarkov.com, from just a couple minutes ago, April 25th, 2024. Edge of Darkness edition on both of them. They removed the word unique from the secure container 3x3 cells description. Over the last several minutes, however long this was, they literally removed the word unique because it's no longer unique because they're offering it in another edition.
Like I said, people purchased EOD based on what was listed and advertised. To go back and retroactively hide and change this fact and get caught in 4K doing it, to me, that's the smoking gun. That is all the evidence you need to prove that this was all done with malicious intent. Cut, print, put it in the papers. BSG are pieces of shit. If you didn't already know, now you do. Reputation forever tarnished. But we're only at the halfway point of this story. At this point, the story started to travel beyond the core Tarkov community. Other developers took to Twitter and roasted Battlestate Games. Be sure to check out the deals in the acquisition center today with prices so low they're practically unheard of. True believers can grab the CM21 Trench Paramedic for only 250 super credits. Not available for free to super citizens.
Wow. You destroyed that company without even touching them.
$250 Daisy Starter Loot Bundle is now sold out. Thank you. Limited stock as we can't give to everyone. It's too expensive and technically hard. The true believers will get to enjoy the bundle for 6 months. If you don't get these jokes, you will. But like, how are you getting blasted by Daisy? Of all games, they destroyed you. Arena Breakout Infinite is another upcoming extraction shooter, and while it does have a terrible name, they too took to Twitter to capitalize on the bad press of their competition and poke fun at Battlestate Games and their Unheard edition. Have a nice 20-minute adventure in the blatant plagiarist game. In and out.
Objection!
Video games cannot be sued for plagiarism for simply being a same or similar category. I cannot believe that I have another opportunity to bring this ancient meme out of its grave, but we are concerned Arena Breakout Infinite may be replicating the experience that Escape from Tarkov is known for. The plagiarism accusation is ridiculous already. But why did you decide to signal boost your competition at a time when your audience has never felt more disillusioned or dissatisfied with your product?
You don't know.
You're just throwing shade. You guys are clearly this. Just shut the hell up and come out with a nice apology. And that is exactly what they did. Later today, Nikita made the first of many well-received posts on Reddit. Update regarding EOD edition. To honor the owners of the EOD version and their indelible importance and role in the EOD universe, we plan to add the following unique features to the edition. And as you see, these are just a bunch of nice perks that make the game easier for you. What's really interesting is high priority matching for EOD owners for 6 months. Having a high priority matching EOD owners for 6 months is now scamming non-EOD owners. This is not part of the package that they were deciding that they didn't buy. I mean, you just make everybody even more to stop. You pay more. I thought that's what you pay the game for, to play it. Now you have to pay an extra fee for high priority matchmaking? Nobody like the Call of Duty publisher know about this. Are you telling me I'm stuck in a 15 queue for every game on purpose because I only pay $80 for a beta game? Yeah. You didn't spend enough, you dumbass. Access to offline PvE for EOD owners for 6 months. We have gone through a lot of bad business practices in the game industry on this channel. And I cannot ever recall seeing a quadruple down. I have opened the deal again. Maybe I don't keep opening it first. The people who paid for EOD don't want the shit that you're offering. This post, of course, didn't fool anybody. You're basically saying, okay, hey guys, so we thought we would scam you a lot, but because of this pushback, what if we only scammed you a little bit? What if we scammed you a bit less? Is 6 months